Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. I wanted to come at you today with just like a really quick and casual video. I didn't have anything really planned out for this week because I had a really big event for work yesterday. One of the big things that I do in my job is put on a charity golf outing. And it was yesterday, and it was a really long day. I woke up at 5 a.m., got to the golf course at 6, and then I didn't get home until 5 o'clock in the afternoon/evening. And I literally ordered a pizza, got in the shower while I waited for it to be delivered, ate the entire thing, and then fell asleep at like 6 p.m. and slept 14 and a half hours until this morning. I think that it went really well though, and I'm just really glad that it's over. I feel like I've gotten a lot better about managing my stress surrounding the event every single year, but it's still just like a relief to know that it's all done for now. So yeah, I have had a really chill day. Me and my mom went grocery shopping, and I got some reading done, and I just wanted to talk about some books that I've acquired recently, because even though I said that I was not going to buy any more books until the end of June, that didn't happen. It never it never works out like that. So I have a little stack here from a couple bookstore trips that I wanted to talk about, and then just kind of do like a current reading update for you, and then we'll call it a day. So I don't even know how long ago it was. It was like a couple weeks ago, if not a month ago. Me and Claire went to the opening of a new bookstore here in Pittsburgh. It's called Amazing Books and Records, and they have a couple other locations, but they just opened up in Shadyside, and we went to their grand opening because obviously we had to. And they do a like buy 3 get 1 free kind of deal, which is really fun. So I got 4 books from there. All of the stuff that they have is used, and then they also sell a lot of like records. I don't have a record player, but I thought that was really cool as well, and it's just like a super nice space. So that was a lot of fun. The first book that I picked up there was Kitchen by Banana Yoshimoto. I read her short story collection Lizard 2 years ago maybe, and back in the winter I tried to read her novel Amrita, but I put it down after getting a little bit into it. I feel like this one is maybe going to vibe with me a little bit more. It's a lot shorter than the other book that I was trying to read, and I feel like this is the one that everyone talks about from her, so I was really excited to find it there. I feel like I've seen it at half price books before, and I like passed it up, and then it was never to be seen again. So glad to have a copy of this. I also picked up 2 volumes of May Sarton's journal. We have The House by the Sea and At 70. I read Journal of a Solitude last year and really enjoyed it. And they had so many May Sarton books. I've never seen so many of her books in one place, but I limited myself to these 2. I'm not sure what the like order of all of them are. She has a lot that have been published, so yeah, I just thought that these ones looked fun. I really want to read Plant Dreaming Deep by her as well, because I love plants, and I think that that kind of explores her relationship with them, so I think that that would be fun, but they didn't have that one there. So yeah, more journals from May Sarton. And then I also picked up this copy of Bonjour, Tristesse and A Certain Smile by Francoise Sagan. I feel like this is really making the rounds this summer, so I was excited to see it there, and I really like this Penguin Modern Classics edition, so I did not want to pass it up. This is like, I think, kind of like a classic French young girl coming of age story. So yeah, grabbed this one. And then like a week or two after that trip to Amazing Books and Records, me and some of my other friends also went book shopping. So we went to White Whale, which is my all-time favorite bookstore, and I always find really good stuff there. So from White Whale, I picked up Territory of Light by Yuko Tsushima. I have seen her books kind of pop up here and there online. I've had a couple of them on my want to read shelf on Goodreads, but I had never come across her before. So I grabbed this whenever I saw it. I think that this is like a recent re-release of this book, and this is about a young mother, and I think like it follows her over the course of a year as she struggles to raise her 2-year-old daughter alone. So you know me in the motherhood books. She's a Japanese author, and I always really enjoy the works that I read that have been translated from Japanese, so I'm excited to get to this one eventually. Then I picked up Mothercare on Obligation, Love, Death, and Ambivalence by Lynne Tillman. I've never read any Lynne Tillman. I feel like I can see the cover of one of her books in my brain, but I can't think of what any of her other books are called right now. But this is a nonfiction, I believe. Yeah, this is a memoir talking about how Tillman cared for her mother in the last years of her life. So once again, themes of motherhood, grief, and just like this caretaking relationship that she had. I think this is going to be a really interesting one. And then the last book that I picked up at White Whale was The Unwritten book by Samantha Hunt. I have never read any Samantha Hunt. I know everybody loves The Seas by her, but that one just hasn't really piqued my interest yet. This one, however, sounds really interesting to me. This kind of, I think, combines a couple of different things, like Hunt's own writing as well as her father's. Yeah, this says, nestled within her inquiry is a very special ghost book, an incomplete manuscript about people who can fly without wings, written by her father and found in his desk just days after he died. What secrets might his work reveal? So Samantha Hunt is kind of exploring some different things in here, and then she also layers those explorations into motherhood, hoarding, addiction, and grief with that book that her father had been working on before he passed away. So I'm very intrigued. What was that? I'm very intrigued by this and excited to have my hands on a copy of it, excited to get to my first Samantha Hunt. After we went to White Whale, we also went to Riverstone Books, which is in Squirrel Hill, and which is right near Amazing Books and Records' other location. And I had been meaning to go there with Claire back in the winter, and then we had a really big snowstorm on the day of our planned trip, so we never ended up going. So yeah, that was my first time there. Once again, super nice space, and I was planning on just browsing. My dad is calling me, 1 second. Anyways, I don't remember what I was saying before he called me, but yeah, first time in Riverstone Books. And I was planning on just kind of browsing and saving some money. And then I came across this, like, one of those, like, spinny rack displays. And I think I took a picture of it, so I'll insert it in here. But it was all New York Review books, which, if you have seen my bookshelf tour, you will know that I have a humongous stack of them. Most of them I haven't read yet, but this was like such a cool collection of these books. I had never seen the majority of the books that were on that display sold in stores, so I told my friends, I was like, you guys go on, browse without me, like, I'm gonna be a minute. And I probably spun that display around 30 times, just making sure that I didn't miss anything. So that was really cool. I've never seen one of those for these books in any bookstore that I've been to. So that was super exciting, and I got 3 of the books from that display. I got another Yuko Tsushima, Woman Running in the Mountains. This is actually my current read right now. I'm a little bit over halfway through it. I think I have about 100 or so pages left. Really enjoying it. Once again, translated from the Japanese, and this is also talking about motherhood. The main character in this book has given birth to an illegitimate child, which I guess is like something that is really uncommon in Japan, especially at the time that she was writing this. And yeah, she has an abusive father and she's staying in her parents' house. She's trying to get work and care for the child. And I'm really enjoying the writing style so far. I think that it's really interesting. Really good like imagery and descriptions, especially of like setting and light is something that I'm really noticing in here. So I think that given the name of the other book that I got from her, Territory of Light, I'm curious to see if that's kind of like a reoccurring motif. Like in this book, she had a tree outside of the window of her hospital room, and there's a lot of descriptions about how the light was like dancing on the leaves. And yeah, I just found that like really beautiful. So enjoying this one so far. Also love this cover with the yellow and then like the contrasting blue for the end pages. Good stuff. I also picked up Down Below by Leonora Carrington. She's an author that I'm seeing pop up a lot recently, and she also has the novel The Hearing Trumpet. I believe that this is more of like a memoir, nonfiction kind of thing, talking about her time in a mental institution. It's a super slim book here, and I've just seen really good things about her writing, so I was excited to find this. And then I also picked up Valentino and Sagittarius by Natalia Ginzburg. I really don't know too much about these. I've read 2 other books by her, and I have a few on my shelves that I need to get to from Natalia Ginzburg, but I really loved The Dry Heart, and I enjoyed Family Lexicon, so she's someone that I want to read more of. I believe that these are 2 like shorter works. Looks like Valentino is like the son of wealthy parents, and then Sagittarius is talking about a daughter, so potentially some more themes of motherhood, maybe some talk about like class in here as well. So yeah, excited to have another Natalia Ginzburg to dive into. And then just today I received in the mail this book, Letter to a Child Never Born. Once again, the motherhood thing is just very, very strong theme in my reading right now. I saw a post on Instagram about this author. I've never heard of her until now. I forget who posted it, but I'll put a screenshot here. But they posted a quote from this book, and I immediately went online and found this used copy of it. It says that Letter to a Child Never Born is a powerful novel about a woman expecting a child, believing that motherhood is a personal and responsible choice, not a duty. Oriana fallaci, I don't know if that's how you say her last name, I'm sorry, shares with the reader the conflict of emotions and desires at the core of every woman's existence. So curious to see how I find this. I believe that she is Italian, and I think that this is an older book as well. Yes, it was originally published in Italian in 1975. So I am curious to try out a new author and kind of get her perspective on this. So yeah, we've acquired new books. These have just been sitting in a pile by my bookshelf because there's no room on the bookshelf for them, but that's okay. As far as what I'm currently reading, I already talked about Woman Running in the Mountains by Yuko Tsushima. I also finished up 2 other books recently, 2 like shorter books. One of them was The Hearing Test by Eliza Callahan, and the other was The Promise by Silvina Ocampo, and those were both just fine for me. They were kind of short and just not a ton to like really sink my teeth into, so they were like okay experiences, I guess. Like, I would read more from both of the authors, but I wasn't super blown away by either of those books. Since I did my whole like bookshelf reorganization, I've been pulling some more books off of my shelf that I'm really wanting to read soon. I did like a summer TBR video a couple weeks ago, and I'm working my way through those books, but I'm finding other books that I want to kind of add to the list and prioritize for the summer, and I have them here. We have Getting Lost by Annie Ernaux. This is the diary that she kept during the time of the affair that she wrote about in her novel Simple Passion, which I read, I think, maybe 2 years ago at this point. I really enjoy Ernaux's work and just how like sparse and precise her prose is. So I'm curious to kind of get a look into her diaries as opposed to her more polished works of fiction and nonfiction. So hoping to get to this soon. I also pulled Aurelia by Kathryn Davis off of my shelf. I just picked this up at the end of April for Independent Bookstore Day. I found it at White Whale, and I feel like I've seen it around a little bit. It was on my like want to read list on Goodreads. It's a memoir, super short as well. I think that it talks a bit about the death of her husband and just kind of like writing and reading and just kind of like her finding herself along the way. We have another Independent Bookstore Day pickup that I want to get to, which is The World According to Joan Didion by Evelyn McDonnell. I saw Kieran from Kieran Reader talk about this at some point in the last couple months. I've read quite a few of Joan Didion's books, and I have quite a few more on my TBR shelf that I want to get to, but I think that this is going to be a really good book for me to pick up before I continue with her work, because this goes into like a lot of the different themes and motifs that pop up in her work, and I think it'll just give me like a better understanding and appreciation for what Joan Didion is doing with her writing. I feel like there's a lot of like symbolism in her work that has maybe gone over my head in the past, and I've read like the really popular books from her, so the ones that I have on my shelves still to read are kind of some more like backlist, not as popular ones, and I feel like this is going to be helpful in having a good time with those. I'm also trying to get back on my like e-reading game. I've been working my way through some digital arcs from NetGalley, and I am trying to get back into using Scribd. They're now called Everand, and I don't think that I'll ever get that right, but I had been reading a ton with my subscription to Everand, and I kind of just fell off of that for a little while. I've been, trying to read for my shelves and have been using the library a ton, but I'm paying for the subscription. I think it's like $11 a month. So I'm like, if I read one book a month on Scribd, it's worth it. But I haven't been doing that every single month this year, so trying to use that a little bit more and like get my money's worth out of it. There's a lot of really good stuff on there that I have saved, but I feel like I'm having some like decision fatigue whenever I open it up, because I think I have like 140 books saved on there, and I'm just like kind of scrolling through trying to figure out what is piquing my interest at this point in time. Other than that, I think I want to start the next book in the Neapolitan novels very soon here, Story of a New Name by Elena Ferrante. I read My Brilliant Friend, which is the first book in the series, last summer, I think in like July, but I'm just like itching to pick this up for some reason. I haven't read any Ferrante in a little bit, so yeah, I'm excited to continue with this series. It's a big chunky one, so I am kind of worried about my like attention span and my ability to finish this, but I think we're gonna do it quite soon here. The weather is getting hotter and hotter. It's gonna be like in the high 90s all week next week, which is kind of concerning. Hoping that my air conditioning in my apartment holds out for that. But yeah, I feel like this might be a good one to just kind of like dive into in the heat and just really like get lost in this. I think that that's it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this like more casual thing. I wanted to do like a webcam laptop style video a la Benjamin Journal, but I opened up my like camera on my computer and the quality of it is so terrible, and I don't think that that would be fun for anyone to watch. So you guys are just gonna get like propped up on a plant pot iPhone videos if I want to do something more casual like that. But yeah, let me know what you've been reading in the comments. Let me know if you've bought anything good recently, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.